You can go through life trying your very best to avoid difficult situations, or you can get very good at handling difficult situations, because it's often at the end of the difficulty or on the other side of the unfortunate circumstance that huge opportunity awaits. Do not hope for an easy life. Instead, hope to be strong enough to deal with a hard life. And that's absolutely true. If it's easy, it has no value. I said this to Aiden Ross before when he was talking about a six-pack. I said if it was easy to have a six-pack, nobody would respect the six-pack. So you sitting here asking me the easiest way to get one, in and of itself is a logic fail. It's supposed to be difficult. If you want to have a life that is worth living, it has to be a difficult life. There is no light without dark. And if you're truly hoping for an exceptional life, that means both sides of the spectrum. I want to make this clear to people at home. Do not be the kind of person who says, I want an exceptional life. I want to drive on Bugattis. I want to have a Lamborghini. I want to have a bunch of beautiful women. I want to have a bunch of kids. I want to have a mansion. I want to fly on private jets. I want an exceptional life with all the positives, but then be afraid of the negatives that come with exceptionality, because there's no light without dark. If you want an exceptional life, you also have to be prepared for remaining in jail. You have to be prepared to be destroyed for no reason by the Matrix. You have to be prepared for both sides of the coin. And the only way to avoid both sides of the coin is to stay in the middle and wait for your certain destruction. So if you want an exceptional life that comes with good and bad, and the people who are hyper competitive, hyper effective, those are people who are good at doing both. We are very good at doing the bad. And also, Tristan, I will say, we're pretty good at doing the good. We're pretty good on our private jets with all our women. We're pretty good at it. And I think that one of the worst things a man could ever be punished with, or one of the worst possible existences as a man, is invisibility. And we can talk about this because the majority of men are invisible. And when I say invisible, I truly mean that. I want you to understand that when a beautiful woman walks into Starbucks and you serve her coffee, you're not human to her. You're not a man to her. She doesn't care about your struggle. She doesn't care about your mental health. She doesn't care what happens to you. She has no interest in you. You're basically invisible to her. You could sit here and say, hey, my name's this and my hobbies are this and I want to do this. She has no interest because you're not high value. The majority of men out here live invisible lives. They're hard lives. You work very hard. You build the roads. You're tired. You're struggling, but you're invisible. And I think that's one of the worst punishments a man can be bestowed with, is invisibility for his entire human existence. What you want to do is to matter. You want people to respect you. You don't want to be a number. You want to be a name. You want people to know who you are. And to do that, you must do excellent things, which means you must live an extraordinary life, which means you're going to have the extraordinarily good and the extraordinarily bad. And you need to be a man and not be a coward and not be afraid, and stand up and say, I'm ready for the good if it comes with the bad, because then I'm not invisible anymore. You have to fight against this matrix. The matrix in and of itself is trying to make, especially men, the majority of them, invisible tax slaves. They want you to sit there, be invisible, not matter, not have an opinion. And we're out here to try and show you that there is another way. And yes, bad comes with the good. There's no light without dark, but God is the best of planners. And every single time he puts you through something difficult, if your mind is prepared, if you are ready to learn lessons and adapt, you're going to become a more formidable competitor. And that's extremely important. You are fighting against invisibility. You're fighting against obscurity. You're fighting against the fact that when you have an opinion, nobody cares. If I tweet right now what my favorite flavor of Kool-Aid is, that flavor of Kool-Aid will sell out. What I think matters. You're not qualified to have an opinion until you're rich. That's the world we live in. When I pull up my super yacht next to the other super yachts and go to the club, the yacht club, and light a fucking cigar, me and the billionaires talk about how the world works. And they listen to me because I have a fucking yacht. If your ass walks in a t-shirt, I think the what we did in Venezuela is wrong. You're poor. So nobody cares what you think. You haven't even managed to escape the fucking rat race, you dumb cunt. And the problem with most men in the world today, especially some of you watching at home, because you're not where you want to be yet, is your opinion doesn't matter. If you think something, nobody cares. When you speak, nobody listens. And when you shout, no one is afraid. You are invisible, and you must fight against this. Even though your cost of living keeps going up, your living standard keeps going down, crime keeps going up, you're miserable, the traffic and the commute is getting worse day by day, your life is degrading in real time, your only chance to get out of it is to get rich. You can't, and you're stuck. So they have to broadcast enough garbage into your brain that you get distracted by TikTok and being stupid enough to pay $700 to go watch Taylor Swift. A concert is the Matrix. Look at these people screaming, jumping up and down, looking at an artist they've already heard the song from 50,000 times, idolizing this person like they're Jesus. And they can't even pay their own bills. Those are the people who have been completely psyoped by the slave mind. You are allowing yourself to be distracted with bread and circus garbage as your actual life and the things that matter crumble around you. When I speak and I say these things, I think 1 in every 10,000 people understand me. And I hope the other 9,999 don't understand me, to be honest with you. Because for there to be winners, there has to be losers. And as people wake up, as most people realize how hopeless the fight is, how unfair the game is, how rigged everything is, a lot of people just simply black pill and doom. That is the answer, because most people don't have hope. You're watching our show. We give you hope. We give you a way out. We tell you what's going to be hard, we tell you what's going to be difficult, but we tell you it can be done if you dedicate yourself. You can have a life worth living. You can forget the politics. You can get rich. You can move to Singapore or Dubai or Tokyo and be rich and have a bunch of children and have a life worth living and build a family office which extracts money from the stock market as the inflation debases the currency, and you can live a life worth living. But most people just black pill and doom. Everything else is collapsing in real time. And you need to forget this idea that your nation is going to somehow go back to a time where you can work in a factory and save up enough money to get a picket fence, a nice little house, and that a woman is going to sit there and birth your children while you put together fucking lawnmowers without some dude off Instagram who has $1 billion. You're out of your mind.
Yeah. The world you want to live in, it's funny because the world you want to live in exists, but you've all been moved to the poor section. I've given this analogy about airlines often. People who are poor and people who don't understand the way the world works always post photos of old airlines. Have you seen this? So the 50s, 60s, 70s, and they're like, look what they took from us. Flying's so crap nowadays. No. Flying's amazing. It's better than it's ever been. But back in the 60s, only rich people flew. Now when rich people fly, we get beds, pajamas, massages, showers. We get more than we ever did before. They just added a poor section. You see, you're living your life, and you don't realize that you've been delegated to the poor section because the world you want to live in isn't in your town anymore. There are realities where you live in a nice, safe neighborhood. You walk outside, you wave to your neighbor, you walk down the street, you go to the store, you got a wife at home, she's giving you kids, you got a nice car, everything's fine, you're not going to get robbed, you're not going to get raped, there's no terrorist attacks. Sure, that world exists. In Zurich, in Singapore, places in Hong Kong, Dubai. There are lots of places, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain. There are lots of places in the world where that does exist. But the single common denominator, like with the people flying on aircraft in first class that are better than the 50s, is that every single person living in that world is at the very least a millionaire. And if that doesn't wake you up to want to be rich, I don't know what will. Every single month that goes by, the wealthy are getting wealthier, and if you do not get on the team and start riding that wave up, you are going to fucking drown in the ocean.
The world is an imperfect place. I'm not an idealist. I'm absolutely and utterly a realist. And let's make some projections for the future. Is the world going to all of a sudden become a peaceful place where people stop stealing each other's shit? No, it's not. Is the world going to become more free and more liberal and more open with AI coming to scan our fucking minds as we walk down the street from a lamppost? No, it's not. Is life better broke than rich? No, it's not. These are very simple predictions to make. I believe, and you can try and correct me if you want, but the problem is you are unimportant, so your opinion doesn't matter. So you can't correct me.
Good point.
So let me tell you something about how the universe works. All of us are given the same opportunities. Let's imagine This is a much better mental frame for you to hold within your mind, because your mindset is nothing more than software which you have installed yourself. And you need to install software that makes you as capable as possible. For the same reason I say I don't believe in things that take away power from me. View the world this way. Everybody is given the same amount of chances all of the time. And the people who are very successful are people who act on those chances. People who are prepared. Let's imagine there's the same amount of prison riots. A prison riot affects everybody in the jail. The man who escaped only escaped because he was prepared for the riot. And the men who don't are the men who refused to prepare. You have had the same number of chances as all of the people more successful than you, and you simply didn't act on them. I refuse to believe you haven't had opportunities. You've had opportunities. You could have paid more attention. You could have worked harder. You could have had unmatched perspicacity to identify every opportunity. You could have had sheer indefatigability to make sure when an opportunity was identified that it was wrung of every single piece of value. You could grab it like a wet rag and squeeze every single piece of value out of the negative or positive circumstance you found yourself in. We all have the same opportunities, and the men you see who are monumentally successful simply act on them when you don't. I don't believe anybody who's struggling didn't have chances. I believe they didn't act. And the reason this is such an important mindset is because it puts all of the burden on you. It is down to you to act. It is not down to you to wait and hope for an opportunity to come that is so easy that you're going to walk down the street and find a winning lottery ticket. No, it is down to you to pay attention and act quickly. When someone gives you a chance, when someone shows an opportunity, when you have an idea, when we say you should do this or we believe this is going to happen, that is your time to finally act and do something. If you refuse to act, you will never escape. When the prison riot comes, if you sit on your bed, you're not going to end up out of jail. The prison's not going to collapse all around you and you just stand up and walk off. You have to do something. So anyone who's saying they struggled this year, I believe that you had the opportunities, you didn't act how you should. And when the burden of proof is on you, you must now then sit and say, well, what lesson can I learn? You can't afford to miss a chance. You need to be a hero. You must sit here and say, I understand that everyone else has quit. I understand everyone else is doom and gloom and black pill, but not me. I am going to escape. I do not believe that an administration is going to help me. I don't believe the world's going to get any better. I don't believe it's going to be easy. I don't care. I'm going to escape anyway. I'm trying to hypnotize all of you. I'm trying to hypnotize you into the most important decision, and that decision is absolute impatience. If you're thinking about going to the gym, go as soon as this broadcast finishes. Drop and do push-ups as soon as this ends. Absolute monumental impatience. I want everybody to type in the chat, I am impatient. Everybody, hypnotize yourself. Tell the universe, tell the world, tell the cosmos, tell the simulation you're an impatient person. You don't want money tomorrow. You want it today. Tomorrow it's harder to make. The mountain is growing. You want it now. Because the days of waiting, the days of thinking it's going to get better, the days of thinking someone's coming to save us, the days of believing in politics, the days of believing if you sit down and you work hard and you save up, it's all going to be okay. All of those doors to a life worth living are permanently shut. They are closed and they are locked. They are never coming back. You're never going to save your way to owning a house which goes up 10x in value. You're never going to get a promotion at your job that makes your life worth living. Your city's never going to get better. They are all closed. It is done. The plane is crashing. You need a parachute. You have to get out or you're going to smash into the ground. You are impatient. As the plane plummets towards the earth, you need to find a parachute now. You can't find a parachute in 20 minutes. You need one now before you die. If you truly understand what I'm saying to you, hypnotize yourself, promise it to the universe that you're an impatient, instant action taker, because those are the only ones who are going to survive. This is a test from the simulation. The prison has an open door. You just need to find it. You need to work through the weeds. You need to struggle through and get out of the matrix. The world is constant and forever war. And your only weapons to protect yourself, the people you care about and your bloodline, are influence. And influence costs money.